Hello students, I have already demonstrated this program as an example for creating a class and object, but now I am going to extend this program to be more effective. That is, in the current implementation there is a limitation that we can only store the information pertaining to one student at a time. That is because we have just declared a single object, and that object is only capable of storing details of one student at a time. So when we want to process multiple students through our program, we have to run the program repeatedly. In each time we can input the details of one student at a time, but that is not an ideal implementation. So what is needed is that I should be able to hold multiple records of more than one student at a time, and also get the inputs and calculate the results for each student. So we can easily modify this program to be more capable of handling multiple student details. For that, what is a basic requirement? You just think of this situation that you need to store more details and apply some logic on the details. So for example, you want to store a number, a set of numbers, and then sort those numbers. So what is a structure needed? You have to declare an array. So it is an array that is capable of storing multiple details multiple related details together, and then apply some processing on them. So same way we can also manage this situation by declaring this object as an object array. So we have to extend this object into a object array. Just like we can create integer array, character array, float array, and string double arrays, we can also create a structure, object arrays. So step 1, declare this into an object. Let's say I want to deal with the 10 students at a time. So I have to make this declaration into an array, which is very much like the declaration of a normal array. We have to specify the size of the array using this brackets. So it is now an array. Next step is that we have to now modify the code to make it suitable for array manipulation. So immediately we are getting to see these error messages, because it's now not an individual object, but it is a collection of objects. So we definitely need the loops. So I'm going to write the loops. So for loop, so inside this for loop we will take we will do all the processing. So let's also think of a better approach, because here what will happen is that because we have put everything inside this for loop, it will take the input details of first student, and it will compute the results, and it will show the result immediately. But what I prefer is that we have to feed the inputs together for all the 10 students or all the n number of students, and after that we must compute the result, and finally the result should be summarized. It has to be presented as a summary, just like you get to see on the notice board. So for that I am going to make a slight change. So first for loop will only take the input details. So it will ask the user. We already have the printf inside this function. So it tells enter your register number. Okay. So this, but now it will be displaying this for commonly for all the students. So we won't know at the time of execution how many students we have already entered. So we need to know the current ID of the student, or current count of the student. So for that I am just going to make us bring this output statement into the for loop. So here I will be telling the user enter the register number, name, marks of So at the time of execution, this will say that you enter the details of ith student. So I represents the current ID of the student. So initially let's also make it I+1 so that we won't see 0. So first time it will say enter the details of first student, second student, and so on. It will go on like that. So this will let us know how many students we have already given the input for. So this is the better way we can write a program. So that is done, and now we have to deal with this object. So it's now an object array. So we have to now use the index stud of I. It's not totally different from the normal integer array evaluation. Only thing is that here we have to now use the member function. So it's going to be dot that member function name. Otherwise this usage is just similar to the integer or character array usage. After that we are now going to calculate the result. For that there is no printf needed. It's an internal background process. So we can just use the same loop. And one more thing you can notice here is that I'm just declaring the counter variables or the index variables in the loop itself. That is the convenience of C++. You don't need to declare everything in the beginning. You can just declare them as and when required. Especially when it comes to the loops, it's better to declare the index variables in the loop itself, so that the visibility of this variable will be confined to the loop itself. See here I'm using the same variable, but I won't see any error message because it has been declared twice. So this lifetime of this variable and the scope of this variable is restricted to the for loop alone, and it will not be accessible or available outside the for loop. So same way I can reuse the I variable any number of times. Here also we have to just add I. So we can combine these two together, because this is not going to be visible to the user. It's just a process happening inside the program. So only the display results is going to be showing the result to the user. So here instead of showing saying your total, I want to say the total of the again we can say that first student, second student, like that. Or we can show the result based on the register number and the name. So let me reformat it. So it will show register number, and then it will say the name. After that total, and followed by average. So for each student it will display the register number, name, total, and average. So let's now try to execute this program. So it has gone to execution without any error, and it is asking enter the register number, name, mark 1, mark 2, mark 3, and mark 4 of 0th student. Okay, so it is still showing 0th student. Let us check what happened. Okay, so it should have been I plus 1. Let me run the program again. So I'm going to enter the register number as 100 for the first student, and let the name be Raja, and I have to just randomly enter some 4 marks. And after that it is now asking enter the details of the second student. So I'm going to 101 name, so third student, see, in this way we will have to enter all the 10 students and it will finally show the result. But just to save time, what I am going to do is that I am going to restrict this program to take only, let's say, some 3 inputs. We just can change the a better thing is we can ask the user the number of students that needs to be handled. See, 10 is the maximum number of students that this program is capable of handling, but it need not be always 10. So the user may choose how many students he wants to enter at a time. So we can give an additional input like int count. After that, enter number of students. So this will be stored inside count, and in the condition, instead of 10, I'm going to put count. So whatever be the value entered by the user, that will be the maximum number for which the input will be taken. So first I am going to type the number of students as 3, and now I need to enter the details. 100 as the register number, second student, so what happened is that it has taken all the inputs and then it calculated the results and presenting it as a register number, roll number, and so on. So this yeah, it is showing the result for all the 3 students, and you can see that the result is not well formed. We can actually format it better and present it in a better way. So that is we can do all that improvisations later, but as of now we just focus on the functionality. So we got it right, the program now works. It's also is taking more details and processing number of student details. So we will also see in later demonstrations how to make the program to be menu driven. So right now it is just running all the functions one by one. In this case it's just executing all the functions, but in lot of implementations, it's better to implement the programs as menu driven programs. So we should show the menu as a menu option 1 input details, option 2 compute result, and option 3 display result. So that is a better approach, and I will show you how we can modify this program into a menu driven one. And similarly, now that we are taking multiple results of many students, we can actually rank them, or we can find out who has got the first mark or something. So we can do all kind of processing of the information based on the calculations and present the result of that. That's also is possible. So we can do all the modifications in later implementations, and you can also try to modify this program to show the list of students ranked as per their total marks. So the student with the highest mark should be displayed as the first student, and the second student, third student, and so on. So for that, what is needed is that you just have to implement a sorting logic. So in this program you can add a sorting logic, but here you should be sorting the object array itself. So this object array contains the total, which is what is needed to be compared. So you can do the sorting of this object array just like we do sorting of the integer array. So I will use the next video for demonstrating how we can sort this object array so that the student records are sorted as per their total marks.